You know, some of the smallest words in the English language are actually hiding a secret. They're not just simple little words, they're basically superheroes, each one with a unique power that can change the entire meaning of a sentence. So, in this explainer, we're going to uncover their secret identities and figure out how to use their incredible abilities.
Have you ever had that feeling where you're just not quite saying what you mean? Like you want to suggest something, but not command it. Or maybe you want to say something's possible, but you're not totally sure. Yeah, getting that perfect shade of meaning can be really tough. But that's exactly where our heroes come in.
So let's meet them. They're called modal verbs. These are special little helper verbs that give us more information about the main verb that comes after them. They can express all sorts of things, like ability, permission, possibility, or even obligation. Honestly, they are the key to unlocking a much more nuanced and powerful way of speaking.
All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to meet three elite squads of these modal verbs: the Power Squad, the Fortune-Telling Squad, and the Rule Maker Squad. We'll also meet their trusty sidekicks, and then finally, we'll learn how to choose our words wisely. Sound good? Let's dive in. Okay, first up on our mission, the Power Squad. These are the heroes of ability and permission. Their whole specialty is defining what's possible, what someone is capable of doing, and what's allowed. The core members of this awesome team are can, could, and may. Now, they might seem kind of similar at first glance, but trust me, each one has a very specific job to do. All right, let's kick things off with can. Its main superpower is all about expressing ability. It tells us what someone or something is capable of doing, like right now. So, for example, if you say, he can speak 3 languages, that word can tells you everything you need to know about his ability. It's a straight-up fact about his skills. Simple, direct, and really powerful. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. The Power Squad also handles permission, and the word you choose completely changes the tone of what you're saying. Can I borrow your pen? That's informal, perfect for a friend. Could I borrow your pen is a bit more polite, great for a colleague. And then may I borrow your pen? That's the most formal of the bunch, perfect for when you want to show a lot of respect. All right, we've got a handle on ability and permission. Now, let's look into our crystal ball, shall we? Our next team is the Fortune-Telling Squad. These modals are all about possibility and prediction, helping us get a glimpse of what the future might hold. The members of this squad, we've got will, might, may, and could. Their job is basically to tell us just how certain we are about something that might happen in the future. And this chart illustrates it perfectly. You can think of it like a certainty meter. If you use will, you're pretty much 100% sure. May and could are kind of in the middle. Think of it as a 50-50 chance. But if you use might, well, you're expressing the lowest level of certainty. It's just a slight possibility, nothing more. And this is why it matters so much, right? The difference it makes in a sentence is huge. It will rain tomorrow. Sounds like you're a meteorologist with a confident forecast. But it might rain tomorrow is just a guess. You know, better bring an umbrella just in case, but don't bet the farm on it. The entire meaning shifts with just that one tiny word. Okay, time for our final team, and these guys bring the law and order to our language. Let's meet the Rule Maker Squad. These are the heavy hitters who deal with obligations, duties, and giving some really strong advice. The key players here are must, should, have to, and ought to. Oh, and by the way, ought to is basically just a more formal cousin of should. But together, this squad tells us what's necessary, what's a good idea, and what the rules are. So let's zoom in on should. Its superpower? Well, it's all about giving good advice or making a solid recommendation. It's not a command, but it is a strong, helpful suggestion. When someone says you should visit your dentist, they're not forcing you, they're not ordering you around, they're giving you some wise advice that's based on, a general rule of good health. It's that perfect blend of suggestion and a little bit of gentle persuasion. Okay, now this next one, this is a biggie. It trips up so many people. I'm talking about must versus have to. Here's the deal. Must often comes from inside you. It's an internal obligation, something you feel you have to do, like I must finish this project. But have to, that usually comes from an external source, a rule, a law, your boss. I have to wear a uniform to work. See the difference? One's personal, the other's official. Of course, what's a superhero team without some trusty sidekicks, right? They swoop in to provide that crucial support when the main heroes can't do it all. And in the world of grammar, these awesome helpers are called the semi-modals. So phrases like be able to, have to, and need to work a lot like our main modal heroes, but they've got some extra flexibility. Think about it. Our hero can is kind of stuck in the present. You can't say, I will can help tomorrow. It sounds weird, right? Well, that's where its sidekick, be able to, comes to the rescue. You can totally say, I wasn't able to come yesterday, or I will be able to help tomorrow. They're like the versatile support crew that just fills in all the gaps. All right, so we've met the squads, we've met their sidekicks. The real power now comes from knowing which hero to call on in any given situation. Choosing your words wisely? Well, that's your ultimate superpower.
And here it is, your ultimate cheat sheet. Seriously, this is a great moment to just pause and soak this all in. We've got can for ability, may for formal permission, will for certainty, and should for advice. Think of this as your guide to mastering all their powers. Definitely keep it handy while you practice.
See? These tiny little words give your English incredible precision and depth. They can change a statement into a question, a command into a suggestion, and a wild guess into a certainty. So the question isn't just about grammar, it's about your intent. Now that you know their secret powers, how are you going to use them?